In the intricate society of the Maya civilization, religion played a pivotal role, deeply influencing every aspect of life. Their system of beliefs reflected a profound reverence for nature, the cosmos, and the gods. To the Maya, the natural landscape, from lush forests to towering mountains and winding rivers, was sacred, believed to be inhabited by gods and ancestral spirits. Within Maya beliefs, there existed a rich pantheon of diverse gods, each with their own roles and powers. From Hunabku, the supreme deity responsible for creating the universe, to Ixchel, the goddess of the moon and water, each deity represented a specific aspect of life and nature. These gods were often worshipped through rituals, offerings, and ceremonies, seen as a means to maintain balance and harmony with the universe. The reverence and fear of the gods permeated every aspect of Maya daily life, from art and architecture to agriculture and warfare. Religion was not just a cultural facet but the foundation of their existence and prosperity. The Maya were Mesoamerican people residing in present-day Mexico, Guatemala, and northern Belize. Before the Spanish conquest, they were among the most advanced Western civilizations, developing hieroglyphic writing, advanced agricultural techniques, and impressive studies in mathematics and astronomy. Maya religion was an integral part of their culture, evident through numerous pyramids and temples built to honor their gods. Maya religion was polytheistic, meaning they believed in multiple gods. Central to Maya religion was the concept of animism, a belief that all things, even inanimate objects, possess souls. The Maya term for the sacredness of gods is Ku. Maya life was closely tied to agriculture, especially maize cultivation. For the Maya, maize was not just their staple food, but also a way to understand the world around them. One of the most important Maya gods was Hunhunapu, the maize god, featured prominently in their sacred texts. To understand the seasons, the Maya believed that during the planting season, the maize god would be reborn and subsequently decapitated after the maize was harvested. The Maya developed ceremonies to honor Hunhunapu to ensure a bountiful maize harvest, as droughts could devastate their communities. It's evident that agriculture was particularly vital to the Maya. Water source, climate, and diseases directly impacted their livelihoods, so like many other societies, they worshipped gods to pray for abundant harvests. Each god the Maya worshipped was associated with a specific aspect of life and was revered in their unique way. This led to the construction of temples and the development of elaborate and sometimes gruesome rituals. Given the extensive pantheon of gods worshipped by the Maya, ceremonies and religious traditions were frequent and governed by the calendar developed by the Maya. They viewed their rituals and ceremonies as attire for their gods. Blood often featured in Maya rituals, sometimes obtained through human sacrifice or the sacrifice of animals. Maya funerals were ceremonial affairs involving cremation, burial, and traditions to release Ku. Many Maya ceremonies involved dance and elaborate costumes, in hopes of garnering the attention of specific deities. Below are 3 ceremonies practiced by the Maya. Human sacrifice. Human sacrifice, while not common, occurred during times of war or to commemorate a life-changing event. Typically, war captives were used as sacrificial victims and were killed in one of 3 ways. The removal of the victim's still beating heart, throwing the victim into a well, or decapitation. The Maya believed these sacrifices appeased the gods of war and ensured military victory. Pokatok. This was a deadly ball game, also considered a form of sacrifice to the gods. The objective was to propel a rubber ball through a hoop suspended on a wall, using only the head, shoulders, elbows, or knees. It was an extremely challenging game, sometimes lasting for days and ending in the death of the players. Cenotes. It was believed that gods resided in caves beneath the underworld, so children would be lowered into wells for hours, in hopes of receiving a message from a deity. Offerings to the gods were made in most Maya ceremonies. Archaeologists have found certain artifacts believed to be part of Maya religious ceremonies, such as currency. When burying the dead, the Maya often included currency and jade to aid their loved ones in the afterlife. Blood. As mentioned earlier, human sacrifice was part of Maya culture, but it wasn't the only way blood was offered in a ceremony. Sometimes an animal would be sacrificed to honor or appease a deity. Maya royalty also engaged in bloodletting rituals to mark events like births, deaths, or the ascension of a new ruler. Royalty would use special ritual instruments to draw blood from various parts of the body for use in ceremonies. Whistles. Besides currency, the Maya also buried whistles with the dead. Some believe these whistles were used in funeral rites, while others think they may have been buried to aid the deceased in the afterlife. These whistles were often carved in the shapes of animals and emitted sounds similar to the animals they depicted. Cinnabar. Long after a person's death and burial, their bones would be exhumed for painting. The Maya used cinnabar, a red mineral, to paint the bones of their ancestors. Incense, in a sense, was commonly used in ceremonies, especially weddings. The Maya sacred calendar included a feast every 20 days. Festivals were major events attended by all to witness plays, dances, and ceremonies performed by priests. Festivals included offerings to the gods, including bloodletting and sacrifices. Today we know some of their famous festivals, such as Hanal Piksan. This festival, now known as the Day of the Dead, lasts from October 31st to November 2nd. It is still widely celebrated today. To honor their departed loved ones, the Maya visit their graves and leave food offerings for the deceased. Kayatun. While detailed information about this festival has been lost, archaeologists believe it was the biggest celebration for the Maya, occurring near the end of their solar year. Foods like turkey and maize were consumed during this commemorative feast, along with chocolate and honey. Papul Festival. This festival, held in June, was a plea for the gods to bless the Maya's crops with rain. Children would gather small animals, particularly lizards, and place them in ceramic vessels. To simulate thunder, the vessels were smashed, and the animals were set free. Xibalba is a Maya term referring to the underworld, described as a frightening place. In the Popol Vuh, the underworld is ruled by deities such as Pussmaster and Bloody Claws, promising eternal suffering for those who end up there. To help their loved ones navigate the various dangers of this underworld, offerings of food and weapons would be provided to the deceased. It's believed that all who die will go to Xibalba. As mentioned earlier, caves, cenotes, are considered sacred spaces in Maya religious beliefs. It's believed that when an ordinary person dies, they journey to the underworld through a cave. They would be buried beneath their family's house, and offerings of jade and maize would be placed in the tomb with them. However, if a member of royalty passes away, it's believed they transition to the afterlife as celestial deities. Instead of burial, royalty were cremated. Soul is described in two ways. Saknik Nahal believes that individuals are connected to everything and part of a larger universe. The soul Huai, sometimes referred to as Wayab, is the concept that a person is linked to an animal soul determined by their date of birth. Because the Maya have a polytheistic religion, they have many deities. Many of their deities represent various aspects of their daily lives, so they have deities for activities such as agriculture or storms. They also honor and worship deities overseeing life and death, day and night, creation and destruction. We can mention some prominent deities like Gadaus Itzamna, believed to be the founder of Maya culture. He taught his people to cultivate maize and cacao, as well as writing calendars and medicine. He's the father of snakes and associated with serpents, known as the ruler of day and night, often depicted in Maya art as a toothless old man with a large nose. Puch. The god of death, and ruler of the underworld called Mitnal. Among many Maya death deities, Apuch is considered the most significant. He's depicted as a skeleton or a corpse covered in bells and smoking a cigar. Sometimes he has the head of a vulture, and even today, some people in Mexico and Central America believe the sound of a vulture signifies sudden death. However, he's also associated with childbirth and new opportunities. Chak. In Maya mythology, Chak is known as the god of rain and thunderstorms. Hence, he's associated with agriculture and fertility. He's depicted as an old man holding an axe with thunder, and tears streaming from his eyes indicating rain. He's said to have reptilian features on his arms and sharp-toothed jaws, and associated with frogs. Ixchel. She's a moon and love goddess. Her role is to assist women in pregnancy through the lunar cycles in Maya art. She's depicted as an old woman, wearing a skirt with crossed bones on it. Also described with a snake atop her head, she's also depicted with a water jug in hand. According to the myth, she pours this jug of water to send floods and storms to the earth. Ikchuaj. Known as the Black War Chief and the patron deity of warriors and merchants in art, he's a black-skinned man with dark circles around his eyes, a scorpion tail, and a dangling lower lip. He's also known as the god of cocoa, a highly valued commodity in Maya culture. He's the king of it, Yum Kayaks. He's the god of agriculture and often wears a corn hat. He's always known to fight against bad weather as the guardian of the forest. He became the protector of plant and animal species. Farmers often rely on his benevolence, associated with maize because it was a staple food in ancient Maya civilization. Heart. Thar. Jaman Ek. He's a god of peace and mercy, known as the deity of righteousness and reverence. His symbol is the North Star used to guide and orient, so he's the one to call if you're lost. He has a shape resembling a native monkey within his range of influence. Monkeys are known as great communicators and aid in guiding each other. That's why they believe this god can communicate with humans. And finally, the very famous snake god in Maya belief is Kukulkan. This god is described as a feathered serpent, a serpent deity in mythology. He taught humankind rules about law, agriculture, reading and writing, art, medicine, architecture, construction, hunting, fishing, and all aspects of how to run an entire civilization. He's also the representative of both good and evil, light and dark, and thus became a central figure in many legends of Maya religion and culture. He's the god of 4 elements: fire, earth, air, and water. He comes from a great ocean and finally returns to it. He's often depicted resembling a pyramid-shaped dragon at Chichen Itza, dedicated or built to honor Kukulkan. The Maya civilization truly was one of the most advanced civilizations of its time. They created writing, agricultural calendars, and a diverse pantheon of gods. What do you think about the religion and beliefs of the Aya people? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for listening. See you in the next videos.